Madam, please give us 5 minutes. We are just waiting for the principal to log in.
Okay.
We'll just start when she logs in. She's in the process of doing so.
Sure. No problem, ma.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, Archana.
Good afternoon, madam.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Doris.
She's our society president, madam. She's our society president.
Oh, so nice. I think Dheera is connecting all of us so closely, right?
Ma'am is?
Yeah. Then Dr. Jamuna.
From Hyderabad.
Okay, ma'am. Welcome. Very nice to see you, ma'am.
That's what I'm telling. Dheera programs, when we started doing, so we are connecting with so many doctors.
Okay.
And then now it's becoming a big family.
Very good.
When we meet again in conferences, then we all come together. Oh, we are Dheera friends.
Actually, our principal join panna wait pandrom, madam.
Okay.
College principal join panna we'll start.
Tuticon, how many gynecologists are there, Archana?
In our society, there are 58 members.
Acha, very good. Nice, small, cozy group.
Of course.
Because if you have too many numbers, then you don't know who is there. So you have medical college also, Doris?
Yes, madam. We have here medical college.
Oh, very nice.
We are from which place?
I am from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad,
yes.
Where are you placed?
I am in private practice.
Okay.
Yashoda Hospital is there. I am consultant there. Plus, okay. I have my own clinic also.
Okay. Nice.
I was past president of our Obstetrics Society, Hyderabad.
Okay.
And now vice president of Menopause Society, Hyderabad.
Okay, nice.
And I did my law. I'm a medical legal advisor.
Nice. So then we can often connect to you for that purpose.
Definitely. I love to.
Very few are like that.
Yes.
But as of now, more and more people are doing that, I feel, because the reason is
they started feeling that is another branch to start practicing.
Okay.
You see, most of these men who are practicing as medical legal advisors, they stopped medical practice. So they are doing this only.
Okay. Yes, I have heard in conferences like that.
Yeah.
They come away from obstetrics doing this only because the need for this is more.
Yeah. But then, now they have become a little commercial.
Oh, because more
it's
and
not
more people.
Like, just, sharing your knowledge, helping them. It's not like that.
Okay. So, madam, I think our principal will join a little late. So maybe we can start and they will join in.
Sure. So what Archana, I would advise you to do is, first we'll play that president message for Dheera program.
Okay.
If you tell Sriman, he will play that.
Sriman, we're starting. We'll start with the message as madam said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let the teacher at least know about this. This is the message from the president.
Okay.
Can we connect to them? Are we connected?
Yes, because we are connected. Mary Thangam, you line la varingla. Mary Thangam, unmute panikringla.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
She is their staff, madam, who's coordinating this program for us.
And we can't see the students. That's the reason I was. Can we see the students?
You want the students to switch on their video?
Yeah.
Dear students, switch on the videos.
Archana, is it recorded?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
They have their own tabs, or is it a single screen?
No, they have their own tabs, madam.
Okay. So then we won't be able to see them. Am I right?
Yes, madam. They'll be on their own tabs.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, should we start, Ma? What's the teacher's name?
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay, good afternoon, children. I want the children to answer us. Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon,
ma'am. That's nice. Good afternoon, boys and girls. How are you today?
Only girls today, ma'am.
Only girls? Oh, good. Then we have power. Okay, how are you all today?
Fine, ma'am. Fine, ma'am.
Oh, good, good, good. So, shall we start the program? Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We are ready. So, what we are going to do is, first, President Shanta Kumari has sent a message for all of you. Why this Dheera program is being done. Okay?
So shall I just brief them about what we are going to do now, madam? And then can we start with the President's message?
Yeah.
Okay. So good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to thank the principal, Sister Shubha, Sister Rupa, and the Vice Principal, Mrs. Satya Lakshmi, for giving us this opportunity today to conduct this program. We call this as the Dheera program. Naanga innikku panapora program na Tamil solren is the Dheera program. இது வந்து அடலசன்ட் கேர்ள்ஸ்க்காக உங்க ஏஜ் குரூப்ல இருக்க கேர்ள்ஸ்க்காக பண்றோம். நாங்க வந்து ஒரு டாக்டர் சொசைட்டி, மகப்பேறு மற்றும் மகளிர் நலம், ஸோ உமனுக்காக பாக்குற இந்த டாக்டர்ஸ் சொசைட்டி. இந்த நாங்க வந்து ஒரு ஆல் இண்டியா சொசைட்டி, ஆல் ஓவர் இந்தியால இருக்கோம். அதுல நம்ம தூத்துக்குடி பிரான்ச்ல இப்போ மேடம் டாக்டர் டோரஸ் மேடம் அவங்க தான் பிரசிடென்ட், நான் அதுல செக்ரட்டரி. அண்ட் அதுல இதுல இருந்து நம்ம இந்த தீரா ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்றோம். இதுல மெயினா நம்ம என்ன உங்களுக்கு சொல்ல போறோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, வயலன்ஸ் அகேன்ஸ்ட் உமன் பத்தி தான் பேச போறோம். அதாவது பெண்களுக்கு நடக்கக்கூடிய வன்முறைகள், அதை எப்படிலாம் அது வருது, அதை எப்படியெல்லாம் தடுத்துக்கலாம். இப்போ வந்து இது வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்குது கேர்ள்ஸுக்கு. நம்ம டெய்லி நியூஸ்ல பாக்குறோம், வெதர் ஸ்மால் கேர்ள்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், டீனேஜ் கேர்ள்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், காலேஜ் கோயிங் கேர்ள்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், ஆர் ஈவன் மேரிட் உமன், எல்லாருக்குமே மென்னால பலவிதமான வன்முறைகள் எல்லா சைட்லயும் நடக்குது. ஸோ அது என்ன மாதிரியானது நடக்கலாம், நடந்தா எப்படி நடக்காம இருக்கிறதுக்கு எப்படி தடுத்துக்கலாம், அதை பத்தி ஒரு அவேர்னஸ் கொடுக்கறது தான் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் நடத்துறோம். இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்க்கு எங்களுடைய ஆல் இண்டியா பிரசிடென்ட் டாக்டர் சாந்தகுமாரி மேடமோட இனிஷியேட்டிவ் தான் இது. அவங்க தான் இது இந்தியா ஃபுல்லாவே இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் பல இடங்கள்ல பண்றாங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் மேடம் கிட்ட இருந்து ஒரு மெசேஜ் நம்ம கேட்டுருவோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்மளுக்கு 3 டாக்டர்ஸ், சீனியர் டாக்டர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. டாக்டர் ஜமுனா தேவி, டாக்டர் ஸ்ரவந்தி அண்ட் டாக்டர் கிரண்மை. இவங்க 3 பேருமே நம்மளுக்கு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆஸ்பெக்ட்ஸ் அபவுட் த வயலன்ஸ் அகேன்ஸ்ட் உமன் பத்தி நம்மளுக்கு இன்னைக்கு பேசுவாங்க. அண்ட் இட் வில் பி அ வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஃபார் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ. உங்க ப்ரோக்ராம் முடியும் போது வாட் எவர் டவுட்ஸ் யூ ஹேவ், நீங்க எங்க எல்லாருக்கூடயுமே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். தேங்க்யூ. Shriman, you can play the video. So first we have the President's message. Enga All India President oda message, Dr. Shantakumari Madam oda message about this Dheera project.
Dear friends, Foxians, and the women of my country, I am Dr. Shanta Kumari, President of the Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecological Societies of India. As a doctor and a woman myself, I have observed very closely how prevalent violence against women is across the strata of our society and the enormous impact it has on the health of our women. My theme for the year as the President Foxy is Foxy for all always, and Dheera, stop violence against women.
Dr. Shanta Kumari, who has relentlessly campaigned for the issues of girl child. I was happy to be the ambassador of Foxy Figure Ox in 2013, and I hope that me being an ambassador has motivated a lot of girls and many families.
Violence against women is a serious human rights violation, leading to injury and sometimes even death. Unfortunately, 1 in 3 women experience some sort of physical and sexual violence during their lifetime. Violence in pregnancy is also widely prevalent, leading to unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, neglected pregnancies with no antenatal care, all these contributing to maternal morbidity and near miss. As obstetricians and gynecologists, we have a great opportunity to assess and support women who experience violence because of the unique opportunity where we get to see them during the pregnancy, during the family planning visits, during their annual checkups, and multiple other times when they come to us. I strongly believe that by eliminating the violence against women, we are not only reaching the SDG goals, but also creates a just and equal society for our women. Until we make men and boys active partners, we can never end the violence against women. In an endeavor to sensitize our own fraternity, my initiative of Dheera was started to eliminate violence against women.
I completely support her vision and mission as President Foxy and also especially support her campaign, Dheera, Stop Violence Against Women.
It was in 2016 at the launch of Dheera. We brought together the police, the obstetrician gynecologists, the National Commission for Women, the women and men on one single platform to wear orange and say no to violence against women. We organized the public forum and cyclothon to launch Dheera. In 2017 at the Foxy Figo Congress, we partnered with men and organized the bikeathon and the flash mob. The high point of Dheera was at the International Figo Congress at Rio, Brazil in 2018. The declaration on no to violence against women was signed with Figo and WHO. It was here global societies pledged their support to end this violence against women. The Dheera campaign and march at the World Congress of Figo in Rio in 2018 got wide international publicity. No change is possible unless the young minds adopt it and make it a part of their life. Young minds are open and creative. They accept change. Foxy has always worked with adolescents for their health and well-being. Dheera this year adds a new page. I'm happy to share with you all that we are launching the Dheera online school certification course across the length and breadth of our country in all the schools. Foxy for all always. Dheera, stop violence against women.
I think that's the end of her presentations. I think children, all of you enjoyed. Enna sollu?
Ma'am.
Did you enjoy the video? Okay. So you all heard Dr. Shanta Kumari, our president, talking about the Dheera. So now I'm Dr. Jamuna from Hyderabad. So I will talk about what is violence and what are the types of violences. Sriman, can you share the presentation, please?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So now why violence against women is very important and how this Dheera is going to play a role in this. So today's agenda is we will talk about what is Dheera and what is VAV, then management of VAV, types of VAV, and in management we will introduce what are the various types of management and what is the role of bystander, how we can bridge the gender gap, and lastly, what is peer pressure. Sriman, you have to share the screen. Are you sharing?
The screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes. So slowly it is coming. I'm in the hospital. Yeah. So next slide. So I was talking about what is violence against women, and I have talked about this agenda. Yes, next slide. So you all have registered before this talk, but then you have to do your post test and give your feedback so that you can get your certification. Next. So what is Dheera actually? Dheera means you all know courage. It means courageous, dhairyam. So hashtag Dheera together is the power of being together. So we all together are a big power. Next slide. So what one of the great men said that not all men practice violence against women, but all women live with the threat of male violence every single day. And it's all over the earth, not just in India. It's so scary. Next slide, please. Now, the violence is against women. Don't you think it is a human rights violation all over the globe? And apart from that, it leaves short-term and long-term physically, economically, and psychological effects on the woman. And because of these effects, there is no full or equal participation of that women in the society. And sometimes the magnitude of this impact on the society is immeasurable. If a lot of women are affected and they cannot contribute to the society, then so much of loss. And now you all have experienced the pandemic, where lockdowns were there, the people were not able to move out, then the isolation was a big issue, then it was stress, then economy also was affected. And because of this, there is a lot of increase in the domestic violence. Next slide, please. So I want to ask you all, are you aware or have you seen any women being beaten, threatened, scolded at home, school, neighborhood? I'm sure you must have seen this. But what do you think? Is this right? Now, what such a behavior is called? Or is there any word which can be described? Yes, next slide. So it is called violence against women if this behavior is seen. Next slide. Yes. Next. So as we have understood that violence against women is the most shameful human rights violation. So now I have said that it is widespread all over the world. So it doesn't have any boundaries, whether it is in India or South India, East, West, or America or UK, anywhere. And even a rich or a poor, educated, uneducated, no boundaries at all. And if this continues, this violence is continuous, where is the real progress towards equality or development and peace? No, there is no development. Next slide. So now this picture, what you are going to see, when you see the picture, it's you think that they are dancing, but the shadow says that the man is beating that woman. So what is exactly vow means? Means you forcing a woman to live in fear. So either mentally, sexually, or physically. Next slide. So from where these violences start, what is the roots? So we see toxic masculinity. Means I am the man, I am the boy, I can do this. You are a girl, you can't do this. Then we have gender bias. Means boys should be like this, girls should be like this. Then sexism. They comment that, oh, this lady, she can't drive properly. And then patriarchal society means always talking about that son is the most important person, not the daughter. Then gender stereotyping. They always say that, oh, the women cannot do this, they cannot be good leaders. You know, these stereotyping of gender. Next. So coming to gender bias. What is a gender bias? Means the woman is just preferred. I mean, the males are preferred when compared to girls, and girls are thought as just a burden for the family. And we see a lot of as doctors that they kill the babies when they are born, or they kill the babies before they are born if it is a female child. Then we have seen a lot of females are being neglected when it comes to their health issues. And these are the things where there is a gender bias. Next. So I think you all know in the movies also we see patriarchy, where they say that men are more stronger and they hold power, and women are largely excluded from the power. Even at home, a man will take all the decisions at the home. He is the boss of the house, not the woman. Even if the woman is working, she is not the boss. So all the decisions will be taken by the male in the family. And most of you must have experienced. Next. So stereotyping is, they say that there will be a difference between girls and boys. Girls should be faithful, emotional, tolerant, sympathetic, and they should be always dependent. Whereas boys, they are very competitive and they are always logical, and their strategies, they are very aggressive, and they are independent. So this is the gender stereotyping, what we see. Next slide. Then we see that sexism, then prejudice, that you are a male, you are a female. The males should not cry, females can cry. You know, all this, there is a stereotyping, there is a discrimination typically against women based on their sex and gender. Now, all of you start thinking about some example and you tell us if you find one. Next slide. Then toxic masculinity. This is very commonly we all see. They think that I am a man, I am very strong, I don't cry, and I can control. I am the boss, I am the savior. No, the men also can be mentally, physically, and socially. They also have their emotional issues. They can feel bad, they can be weak, they can cry, but that is should be understood. Next. So why we doctors want to talk about this violences? Because one is as we are gynecologists, we come across the women who come to us with their health issues, and we can recognize these violences. And we have seen that most of the health problems of these women, they are the reason or the cause of violence at home. And sometimes serious health problems during pregnancy also are due to these violences at home or elsewhere. So that is why we have to talk about these violences. So why Dheera? Dheera means, as we thought, that we have to have a social group or organization to take this campaign. And this was founded, as our President Dr. Shanta Kumari has said, that in 2016. And since then, every year, anywhere, this Dheera program continues. Next slide. So now the main aim of this campaign is we want to initiate this program and sensitize and orient and train 36,000 obstetricians and gynecologists, then 5 lakh boys and girls from 9th to 12th grade, and 15,000 teachers. So this is the initiation we started, and we are successful, and we have done 260 already, and we want to do many more. So next slide. So what Dheera says is, teach your son to respect women, because he's waiting, he's watching, and he will listen also when he is very young. And this is the initiation and campaign. So next slide. We all are courageous together. Not only we as doctors, but you as all the girls, all the students, teachers, say no to violence against women. Then hashtag Dheera together. Let's all tweet together, and so that we can build a voice. And our target is 1 lakh tweets. So you add your courageous voice to this conversation of say no to violence against women. Thank you. And now we will move to the next presentation, types of vow. I'll speak about that. Sriman, next. Yes. So types of vow. Yes, next. What are the various types of vow we have? Yeah, next slide, please. So as already said, now we have 3 types of vow, that is physical violence, psychological violence, or combination of these. So what is physical violence? I think all of you must have seen that acid attacks, honor killings, female feticide, sexual violence, and in psychological, financial manipulation with them, then emotionally they will abuse, and bullying, stalking, gift teasing, criminal intimidation, and combination of the both is domestic violence. Now coming to physical violence, next slide, acid attack. I think all of you must have, do you think of any picture with acid attack, please? Any one of you? Can you think about? Any one of the girls can tell? Yes, girls? Do you think about the movie? You know, Chapak? Chapak was a movie wherein this girl, Lakshmi, only 15 years old, and one 32-year-old man was proposing her. And when she denied it, he just poured acid on. So that was a assault he did. And now we have a lot of protection from these attacks. And even if they are threatening to throw, then also they are. Next slide. So if acid attack is threatened or attempted, you can just report to the most you trust, an adult or police or any family member. And always, if somebody is threatening, then you should be away from that person. And always you should travel along with others. Travel all alone. And you have section 326 to punish them. And then if attack has happened, then first thing you have to do is visit hospital and doctor as soon as possible. So you get the treatment. So the damage is less. Then you talk to your parents, teachers, police, or anyone whom you trust. Make sure you're staying away from the perpetrator or the person who's done the crime or who's threatening to do the crime. Then 326A IPC is the section where you can file a case against these people. And not only that, the punishment, but the treatment expenditure also they have to pay what the victim has gone through. Next slide. So on a killing, we see that in movies also, that if a girl and a boy are different caste or different culture, if they come across and if they are getting married or if they are having an affair, they just murder one of them or both of them, because they think, now funnily, not the family member does this, but even the village people who think that their honor is lost in the village, they do that. They may not be the family members, because they think that reputation of the family will be lost. So to protect that, they do these murders. Next. Next. Sriman. Sriman, next. I think there is something. Can you hear me, Archana?
Yes, madam. Change the slide, madam.
No, but what can you do? It's still there. That what can you do? Acid attack only is there.
No,
We can
madam.
hear you, madam.
Okay. So after honor killing, we have femicide, and femicide is what we see, and I think you people also must have heard that they try to detect whether it is a male or a female baby before the baby is born, and they are killed within the womb by doing an abortion, or they are killed once the newborn female child is. This is one of the heinous act. It's really unpardonable. So as women, we all should go, face this and say that this is not the right thing. And we have to build our voice and raise our voice. Then coming to sexual assault. Next slide. Coming to sexual assault, it's an act in which man sexually touches a woman or compels her to get naked forcefully. All these things are punishable as Section 354. So these sexual assaults will leave a trauma on the victim, long-term trauma, and they become physically, emotionally very, withdraw themselves. They are all by themselves. They will not talk. They will stop studying. All these happen because of these assaults. So you all know that Nirbhaya Act in 2013. So any type of rape, this act will give the punishment, and these cases are completed very fast. They are not prolonged for a longer time. Next slide. So if you are a survivor of a sexual assault, always, and even if you come across another person who has been assaulted, these things you should tell that person. They do not shame yourself, or you should tell that girl not to shame herself or not to blame. You should not blame, and she should not feel that she should be blamed. And if assault has happened, don't take a bath, don't wash yourself, don't change, and sit and write down what happened, whatever you remember in an order, then inform the police, report in a timely manner so that there is evidence, so that the person can be punished. And I'm telling you all of you girls, don't be afraid to speak up. Even if somebody has said something to you, immediately you have to speak up and share with your trusted person, friend, teacher, family member, whoever it is. Now, you never think that you were at fault, and because of that, the abuser, the person has assaulted you. No. Now we have to raise our voice and speak up and find that abuser and punish him so that he will not repeat the same thing. Next. So psychological. What are these psychological violences? Financial manipulation, especially. So now we have a case study. All of you have to tell later on. There is one Mr. Raj who monitors his wife, Ananya's bank account, and he doesn't let her buy what she wants. So Raj's parents don't let Ananya go to work. So can you all tell, or at least one of you tell, what Ananya can do? Think about it. We will ask after another module. Next. So emotional abuse. This is very commonly we see. Like, examples are name calling, damaging partners' relationship with children, not letting partners see friends or families. This, I think, most of you must have seen in some families. So now there is another case study. Here Shreya, who is married to Ashok, and Ashok colleagues mock him for earning less, and he feels very hurt and is over his pride. So Ashok takes out his frustration. He keeps drinking, coming home more often, and he starts raging. With a raging behavior, he throws tantrums, breaking things, yelling and blackmailing Shreya of divorcing her. So this constant fault-finding behavior of Ashok, which has effect on the mental health of Shreya. So now you all think what Shreya should do, what you all can suggest to Shreya. Next slide. So bullying, this I think in school also you people must have experience, or your friends, any one friend of yours must have experience. So it is nothing but continuous harassment, either verbal or physical. It can be in the form of cyberbullying or ragging also. So this is another case study where Neil, who is a senior, asked Ria, his junior, that they both want to go out. But Ria says no. So he feels embarrassed. And to cover his pride, he starts up a rumor saying that Ria is a slut. And he starts harassing her every day, calling her fat, ugly, and other such derogatory terms. Then he throws eggs at her house and with his friends pours water on her homework. And he provokes all his friends into teasing her whenever they see her. But do you think this is right? So if you see such a thing happening in your school or in your neighborhood, what would you do? And whom do you contact? Next slide. So cyberbullying. This is one of the most common and happening thing which is we see. And because you people have no online classes and you have all tabs and you have access to Facebook and whatnot, social medias and all, and there is lot of bullying happening, abusing happening on this cyber things. And there we see that unnecessarily you people will answer the Facebook friends whom you don't know, and this will be taken an advantage, and their bullying and abusing will start. And what all happens? They threaten, they send abusive text messages, or they create embarrassing image or videos. And not only that, they share with them with these things with other. And sometimes they create a fake account, stealing online identities, and they do all other fake things in these cyber crimes and sharing sexually explicit messages. So, and what the surveys have found that the females are 2 times more likely to be the victims of this cyberbullying. Imagine that now. So now you all have to become very conscious whenever you are on a social media. Next slide. So what can you do if something happens on cyberbullying? So first of all, you have to check the platforms. So go to the anti-bullying policy, get in contact with the customer service representative if you are confused. Then blocking and reporting. Make sure to collect all the screenshots, whatever the messages or the pictures or whatever it is. Then you can file a criminal complaint and you can report to a cyber cell from any city. If it is happening in Hyderabad and you are in Tamil Nadu, from the Tamil Nadu, you can file a case. And then you can reach to these women-oriented she teams also. At least in Hyderabad, we have these. Next slide. So stalking. Stalking means somebody is following and tries to contact without the consent. And this can occur even digitally also. So this is also punishable under 354D IPC section. Now we have a case study where Sanjay 17, he starts following Meera 17 everywhere she goes, learning her everyday routine. First, he will learn everyday routine, where she is going, how she is going, and all that. and then she taking pictures of her, and unnecessarily he joins her tuitions also just to follow her. Then his friends start saying that, oh, very good, you are like a popular role actor like Bollywood movies, so they encourage him, so he'll start doing more happily. So now you have to think that Meera starts to feel uncomfortable. So what can she do? And what you people want to advise her? Next slide. So voyeurism. I think you people can think about a picture about this voyeurism. Means watching or taking pictures of a women without the consent and without the knowledge of the women. Section 354 will punish these abusers, and the punishment can be up to 3 to 7 years. Next. Eve teasing. This is a very common, I think all of us at one time in our life must have experienced this eve teasing. The unwanted remarks, sexual advances by a man to insult a woman in a public place. And this is eve teasing is also punishable under section 294 and even 509 IPC sections. Under this, there is punishment. Next. So criminal intimidation means somebody is saying they're threatening that they will cause death, or they hurt grievously, or they destroy your property. So this is also punishable under section 503. Next slide. Sexual harassment. This is also seen everywhere. The unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, sexual remarks, showing pornography without consent, all constitute as sexual harassment. So if anybody is showing pictures also, it is punishable. Then it can be reported under section 354 and it is punishable up to 3 years of imprisonment. And we have a case study here. It's very interesting. Because of unreasonable rains, a farmer loses his considerable amount of crop and he was unable to sell. So to make his ends meet, he takes loan from the village person, and that is called Raghu. And after a few months, he is unable to pay his loan. So what he does, he sends his daughter to this loan Raghu and says that she will work. Instead of that, he can reduce his loan. So he also feels, okay, it is all right. And then because this girl is there, he started taking advantages, that Raghu, the person who has given loan, and he starts sexually harassing that girl. So such thing happens, then what we need to do? So please tell your answer after. There is combination of these violences, as we have talked about it, domestic violence. It may not be between a married couple, but it can happen within the family. And most of the times, most victims are domestic violence. They don't even know that they are being abused. It's very sad. And sometimes it is very hard to believe that a trusted partner can be so manipulative that he starts abusing, and the female will not even know that she is being abused. So it can be harassment from the in-laws or sister-in-laws or all laws. Next slide. So what are these examples? See, economically they abuse because they will have all the control of the money. Then they will have male privilege because these people want to have their power and control on this woman. And they threat them, then they do intimidation, then using emotional abuse, that I will not send you to your parents' house, or he will tell the children that your mom is not good, or keep, making her isolation, or minimizing or denying, blaming, and all these things he will do only to have power and control over that lady. Next slide. So how this cycle of abuse happens? There is always some argument and fight happens. Then after sometimes there will be apologies. Then they come back to some terms of understanding. Then all the she will excuse him. because he says sorry. Then after that, everything goes on. And again, there is some argument or some fight. Again, everything starts again. So this cycle of abuse will keep on happening. So one has to understand how to cut this abuse. Should not face time and again. Next slide. So domestic violence also, there is an act which covers physical, sexual, verbal, and economic abuse. It grants immediate protection, punishes the abuser with imprisonment up to 3 years. Next slide. Sriman, next. Yeah, next slide. So we all have to end this violence against women. So let us all take one step at a time so that we all can build a voice to this conversation, say no to violence against women. So registration you have done, that is pre-test, and the post-test and feedback is a must so that you can get your certificate. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, Archana. But I think we should have learned from family.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. That was a very nice introduction to violence against women. I think students would have benefited from that a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I have to leave. Nice meeting you, Doris and Archana. Hopefully we'll meet again.
Yes, madam. Nice meeting you too. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think Shravanti is ready.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jamna ma'am.
Good afternoon. Take over.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Right, bye then.
Bye. Hi, Dr. Archana and Dr. Doris.
Good afternoon.
We're able to hear? Able to hear?
Yes, madam. We're able to hear you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of this awareness program. And see, already you had some introduction about violence against women. So our President Shanta ma'am is taking it as a prestigious program. Not only in our Telangana, it is a program of national-wide programs in the schools we are conducting. Hopefully, the teenagers, because these people are the future adults. So we are actually sensitizing from the school so that we'll have good future. Next, I'll proceed with the next my presentation. Shriman? Yes, now, Archana, are you able to hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
You're audible.
Now I am moving into VA management strategies. So what we have now, we heard about, so what is VA, how the VA is going on in the society, all that. So how to tackle now? Next slide. So managing strategies of VA, this is the important step, what we have to learn, how to tackle. Next. Already you registered. So the fact that contribute to war, what are all these things? Main is social discrimination, drugs, troubled children, lack of compassion, alcohol, superiority complex, stress, anger issues, and gender bias. These are the main contributions for the violence against women. Next. So see, this is the why it is occurring. This mainly is because of mindset. It is nourished since childhood based on the way a child is brought up. As madam already told, so girls you have to do, boys you are not supposed to do. So such type of things from the very early age, they are like seeds, like things which are going into the brains of the kids. So this mindset is very, very important to avoid violence against women. Next. So what to do if you know someone is being harassed? So first one, don't be afraid. Listen to the victim's story. Reassure them to stay brave. Believe their story. Do not blame the victim. Keep an eye on the situation to make sure it is not getting too dangerous. Ask about their immediate plans. Report to a higher authorities like teacher, parents, police, or any of your believers. Respect their decision. Have resources to keep conversation going on. Be careful that any actions taken do not harm you or victim. That is more important. Next. What to do if you are being abused? So if you are the direct victim, then what you are going to do? Recognize the toxic behavior as the cycle of abuse. Protect yourself by leaving from the vicinity of the abuser. Avoid escalating the situation. Report the incident. Keep evidence of the abuse by recording and photographing. Plan a safety kit in case you have to leave your home in a hurry. Let someone you trust know of the abuse. Like what happened, you can explain to your friend or neighbor or your doctor or even police officer. Next. So speak out. This is very, very important. Don't be quiet. When you speak out, then only the things will work out properly. So don't let the abuser rob you of your voice. Believe your words have power. Speaking up is the first step to end violence against women. Take a stand because your abuser is afraid of your voice. When you have a good voice, they will definitely do backstep. They will afraid of doing some abuse on you. Next. Don't let down another generation of victims. So why I didn't report? Give the victim a platform to speak. Believe the victim. Don't blame the victim. Stand up for justice. Don't let people forget that once someone commits abuse, they are prone to doing it again and again. Next. Safety using technology. So now you have a lot of technology in your hand. So it is very easy. So what are the things you can do? So download and familiarize yourself with the safety apps. So so many apps we have: Smart Share Women Safety Shield Protection, Visu, Scream Alarm, Suspects Registry, Be Safe, Abhaya for legal advice. These apps you can download, and it is given the symbol also. And share your live location with those who trust. Take pictures of taxi driver or license plate. In case of emergency, activate location and apps. Next. So you are seeing this distress signal, that this is called help signs. So you can see. So what you have to do, you have to hold the palm into the palm, and you have to move your other four fingers. So trap your thumb and on to see how it is doing. So you have to learn that whenever you are in trouble, you can give alarm distress signal to your friends or any of the neighbors or any of other people who are standing over there. Next. So if you see the distress signal, what you have to do? If you see the signal, check in with the personal safety to find out what they need and what you can do. If you find a threat of danger, call the local police. So if you're finding any danger, don't rush into the place and don't do like in a hurry, because it may spoil the situation more. So be wise and think, and then only you have to act. So if you are finding this threat danger, call the police or helplines mentioned already. Next. So you have so many numbers to help you out. These will be available even websites. So you can use All India Women Helpline. This is 1091, Women's Domestic Abuse Helpline 181, and National Commission for Women are there. Local bodies which are having local companions, NGOs and police station. So Outer Delhi Helplines, Delhi Commission for Women. So see, so many are there to protect us. Next. Helplines for specialized cases like gender-biased violence to command crime, you can report this number. Child helpline is there, Crime Stop is there, domestic violence helplines are there, and Commission for the Gender Equality are there. These are all 24-hour available toll-free numbers. So you can use it, you can keep in your mobiles and use liberally whenever you have problem. Next. So the reporting process is, first report the incident to the local police or special police unit and record statement for the police within 24 hours. Go to hospital or shelter home for medical examination by female doctor. Record statement for magistrate. Special court shall complete trial within 1 year. So this will be taken in a special interest. Next. So let's keep them saying that girls are strong. Okay. So you are educated with your even she teams also doing such programs in your schools now, so that you should have all the helpline numbers and also that sign of help. So after this, we are going into the next topic. Shriman, you can proceed.
Can we have interaction with students? Because
Yeah, Sravanti.
Yes. Madam.
Yeah. Dr. Archana, if students want to interact, I think
Yes.
this is after 3 presentations, we generally have interaction with students. If they want to ask us any questions, if they have something to share, some doubts, either they can put it in the chat box or they can, I think they're all connected through their mobiles, right?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah, or you can moderate and I mean, this is some time for interaction after 3 talks. If anybody wants to.
Students, நீங்க எதுவும் கேட்கணுமா questions? இது வரைக்கும் சொன்னது உங்களுக்கு புரியுற மாதிரி இருந்ததா? மேரி தங்கம், ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுவாங்களா? ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணி பேசலாம்.
Anything that they want to share with us, any doubt, anything.
ஸோ பேசிக்கா என்னென்ன மாதிரி வயலன்ஸ் வன்முறைகள் கேர்ள்ஸ்க்கு நடக்கலாம் அப்படின்றது சொல்லியிருக்காங்க இது வரைக்கும். அண்ட் எப்படி ப்ரிவென்ட் பண்ணலான்றது, அதுல மோஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டண்டா நம்ம மைண்ட்ல வச்சுக்க வேண்டியது, இந்த மாதிரி நடக்கிறது நம்ம பார்த்தாலோ இல்ல நமக்கு உங்களுக்கு யாருக்காவது நடந்தாலும் நம்ம வந்து பயப்பட வேண்டாம். we should not be afraid. பயப்படக்கூடாது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் அது மாதிரி தப்பா பிஹேவ் பண்றவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து மூவ் அவுட், அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து நகர்ந்து வேற இடத்துக்கு போயிடுங்க. ட்ரை டு அவாய்ட் தம், அவங்கள அவாய்ட் பண்ணி வேற இடத்துக்கு போயிடுங்க. அதை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க. அதை பண்ணும் போது நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அந்த அவங்க தப்பா நடந்துக்கிறது வந்து குறையும். அது நம்ம அங்கேயே இருந்து இன்னும் இருந்துகிட்டே இருந்தோம்னா அவங்களுக்கு இன்னும் பண்றதுக்கான தப்பா நடந்துக்கிறதுக்கான வாய்ப்புகள் கூடும். ஸோ அதை செகண்ட் ஃபாலோ பண்ண சொல்றாங்க. தேர்ட், பயப்படாம வீட்டுல உள்ள பெரியவங்கள்ட்டயோ இல்ல உங்களுக்கு யார் நம்பிக்கையா இருப்பாங்கன்னு தோணுதோ அவங்க கிட்ட சொல்லுங்க that such a thing has happened. அது உங்க வீட்டுல உள்ள அடல்ட்ஸா இருக்கலாம், ஆர் டைரக்ட் உங்க டீச்சர்ஸா இருக்கலாம், உங்க பெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸா இருக்கலாம். so that you can make a report, you can tell the report even to the police. லால வந்து இப்போ நிறைய இந்த மாதிரி பண்றவங்களுக்கு நிறைய தண்டனைகள் இருக்கு. அண்ட் இதை வந்து சீரியஸா எடுத்து போலீஸ் சைட்லயும் இதுக்கு வந்து நம்ம கரெக்டான இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அவங்க சொல்றாங்க. ஆக்சுவலா வித் எவிடன்ஸ் நம்ம வந்து இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்தோம்னா கண்டிப்பா தப்பா நடந்துக்கிறவங்க, பெண்களுக்கு எதிராக வன்முறைகள் செய்யறவங்களுக்கு தண்டனைகள் லா சைட்ல கொடுப்பாங்க. இதுதான் அவங்க இவ்வளவு நேரம் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இது ரிலேட்டடா யாரும் எதுவும் கேட்கணுமா? எனி டவுட்ஸ்? ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் யாராவது பதில் சொல்ல முடியுமா?
There is one question in the chat box.
Yes,
how to complain about the teasing person without mentioning the name? I mean, you I understand it as you don't want our name should not come out. that we have complained. That is what confidentiality is. Like the person to whomever you complain, like if it's a teacher or if the police or anybody, they have to maintain this confidentiality, that they should not reveal your name as the person who has complained. So we'll know the who is the culprit. That person will be taken into account, but will not reveal the person who has complained. That is called confidentiality. That is generally maintained in bigger crimes, court cases and all. But as you said, even in small issues also, we have to take care of this. Otherwise, people will not come forward to complain, because later on they will be targeted and all that. So I think the teachers or parents or elders, whoever are in charge of this hostels anywhere, they should take care that the whoever is complaining, their name doesn't come out. I think that's a good point. The Mary has written, if we get to suffer, how can we take action in sudden time? We lose our consciousness. Okay. By being afraid. How can we take a step to call others if there is no one near us? I think Dr. Shravanti madam has told you about the apps. In the apps, there is something called urgency, or that you need help. If you press it, the signal or the message goes to the nearby helplines or police teams, mobile teams, that you are in danger. And if you keep your GPS on, that is your location on, they will be able to reach you. I think Tamil Nadu also, many places throughout Tamil Nadu, you have such things. Whereas we have she teams. If you press on the app, immediately the message goes to the nearby mobile teams or the she teams that you are in danger, and they can track you with your phone location. And the people have been, I mean, the girls who are in danger have been tracked and their location had been traced, and it had happened. It had happened. So when in distress, when in danger, yes, it is natural to be afraid. But the one thing is the app and having the location on or making a phone call, and even when that is not possible, Dr. Shravanti also had shown you the distress signal, isn't it? The distress signal. You should educate others also what it is about. Then what else can you do? You should come out and tell me. This is what I am thinking. Would be happy if you also come out with some things. What should we do if we are in such a distress? Dr. Archana, maybe if some of the students can come out with what they can do when they are afraid and paralyzed with fear.
Yes, because you are the now the teenagers, you can have new ideas so that we can also add into the
We have
presentation.
told a few ideas in our presentation. So what is practical, but you also can come out with some suggestions, ideas. You can put it in the chat box, no doubt, no problem.
Ma'am, shall we move?
Is it, in one of the slides, Dr. Shravanti has even told call for help, shout for help. You can scream. Okay. And then the next presentation, I think Shravanti will tell what others should do. Like suppose the person or the victim is paralyzed with fear. You are already so scared that you cannot raise a voice. Then what should others, there are many others, many times who are watching, surrounding. Then their role becomes important. I think they are called bystanders. And now Shravanti will tell us what role bystanders have, how important role they have, what they can do. And then bystanders' role becomes important, especially in such situations as you have told, like when you become paralyzed with fear, when you don't know what to do, then others should help. Others also should help. That is what is bystanders, active bystanders are about. Can we go ahead now, or do you want to put some more questions?
Dr. Archana?
I think we'll go ahead, madam.
Okay. Sriman? So this is now the topic, fourth topic is role of active bystanders. So who are the bystanders? What is the meaning of bystanders? Next. So who is bystander? An individual who observes an act of violence discrimination or other problematic behavior, but are not its direct preparator. So not the victim. So beside the victim, somebody standing or passing through, those are called bystanders. Next. So these are two types bystanders, active bystanders and passive bystanders. Active are who take action and try to stop it. So you have seen so many situations when something is happening, gents or ladies, they will go and argue with the person why you are doing like this. But passive bystanders, mostly we are seeing the passive bystanders who do not act or otherwise intervene. So why they are passive, they have some inhibitions like social influences, audience inhibition, fear of realization. So what they will think, oh, I am late for the work, already somebody doing, or someone else will help. So this is the actual natural thinking of the human being, because they're afraid of the things. If we are like going and interfering, we may be victimized or we will have some problems like that, they will think. So those are passive bystanders. Next. So here we have to we have weapons of active bystanders, 5 Ds we have to follow. These are the weapons of active bystanders. One is distract. So first, whenever you are seeing something awkward or some problem is going on to a lady or even a boys, even children or anybody, first you try to distract the person, because the person who is a victim, they will not have the such type of ideas as that girl is telling. So they will be paralyzed, they will be in shock. So you people should act. It is a subtle and safe way to intervene. The aim is to interrupt and derail the incident. So just you can go and ask some other things, like you don't know what is happening, but you are asking something, like pretend to be lost. So asking where is the way, oh, I have to go like this. It's like this, you have to intervene the situation. Ask for time or address of the place. Pretend you know the person being harassed. Or otherwise, you can go to that girl. In movies also, we'll see, hey, hi, how are you? How is your mother doing? After a long time, I'm seeing like that. So that person who is doing this all things, they will be like little afraid. Okay, somebody she knows or somebody he knows. So not better not to do. So talk something irrelevant and take the attention of the harasser. So this is called distraction. Next. Second is delay. So you delay, if whatever the possible delay you can do, that definitely neutralizes the situation. Delay can reduce the severity. Ask the victim if she is okay. Offer the accompany her to her destination or sit with her for a while. So the second is delay. Next. Next is delegate. Third D is delegate. Delegation is when you ask for assistance for your resources or for help from a third party. If means you can call some of your friend, hey, please come here. So I am like seeing something is going on, so we can tackle if you are there. So that is called delegation. If near a shop, ask the shopkeeper to help. Or if on a bus, ask a co-passenger bus conductor to intervene. If you are in school, contact teacher for help. This is like delegation. You are doing delegation. Next. So next one is document. First, assess the situation. If anyone helping the person being harassed. If no, use one of the other Ds. If someone else is already helping out, assess your own safety. Only if you are safe, then only go ahead and start recording. Always ask the person who are harassed, but they want to do with the recording. So that is the you have to be smart enough to understand the situation. Is it going on or somebody is helping? So what you can do? So document whatever is doing. So the person who is helping may not having that sense that I have to document, and already a person is a victim also, that person is also not in a sense to document. So you can do documentation of the situation. Next. So means you are like documenting, but you should never post in the online using an image as a person being victimized without the person consent. It may take persons feel even more depressed and can lead to a level of visibility that person may not want. So publicizing another person's traumatic experience is no way to an effective bystander. So why you are documenting is further like evidence or something to give some help to the girl or boy, but you should not post without the consent of the person who is already in a depression. Next. So what is fifth D? Now we have about 5 Ds. Fifth one is direct. Directly respond to harassment by naming what is happening or confronting the harasser. This can be risky. The harasser may redirect their abuse towards you. It may escalate the situation. Be clear, confident, but cautious. So don't be heroic whenever you are doing some help. But definitely you do whatever you can do, but think the situation, assess the situation, how far it is safe to directly interact, or what is the other things I can do. All other things you have to think, because you are a active bystander. So what are the golden rules? Only intervene if it is safe for you to do so. If not so, call the police. As already we have dial 100 is there, and also the child helpline 1098. So you can do like these are the safest things you can do. Next. So more ways to get involved. How other things, other ways you can involve, organize the actions like writing stories, posters, and nataks, or some we used to do a lot of stage shows to educate our colleagues, friends, and appreciate someone practicing bystander interventions. If you know some organization is working for it, donate your time and ideas. So in this way also you can be like a bystander. Next. So the wrong things to say. So what are the wrong things? So see, these are the things bystanders, what you are doing is you are like giving lot of supports, but what you should not do. Victim blaming should never be done. Never and never. Why did she go at night? Why did she park her scooter there? Why did she go alone? Why did she call her sister instead of sister? So these things you are not supposed to do, because already there is like a damage is going on, and again that victim is already at loss and she is in a pathetic situation, and again you are doing blaming and teasing. It is not correct. Next. So these are the bystanders laws. 5 Ds you have. You are very strong enough to be a bystander. So how to face like a victim and how you can act like a bystander. That I have covered already. If you have any questions or any ideas, any suggestions, please give in your chat box so that we can add into our program. Thank you, Archana. Any questions you can ask after? Next 2 sessions are there. After that, you can come out.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for the very nice talk.
Thank you. Now we are moving to fifth one by Dr. Kiran Mai.
Madam, please, Kiran Mai, madam, please unmute and talk, please.
Madam, you're muted. Madam, you're muted, ma'am.
Sorry. Thank you. I was saying thank you, Archana, for arranging this, taking all the troubles to arrange this Dheera online module for the students. You have made so many calls, and finally really taken fruit. I'll go with the fifth presentation, which is bridging gender divide. You all know that there is gender divide. It is not a gender parous society. Gender parous is both as of now, the male female gap is still there. The females are lagging behind in all the spheres of action or in all the fields, and that is a fact. And let's see how we can bridge this divide. Shriman, can you share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Shriman?
Yes, ma'am. I'll share the screen.
Yeah.
The screen visible, ma'am?
So, yes, yes. This is bridging gender divide. Can we go to the next slide? Next. So, see, when you see such names like Shiva, Harsha, or Pushpa, or Nirmal, these are common in North India. Even for us also, something like Raji or Raju. So many names are there. When you hear such any name, immediately it strikes you. You come to a conclusion whether it is a male or a female just by listening to the sound of this name, which may not be true always, because genders are nothing but socially constructed concepts. There is nothing to say that these names are for males or these names are for females, because it has been happening since so many years. It's happening, and we identify the names with the gender. Next slide. And again, just as names, there are traits. Traits like being active, being considerate, being aggressive, being creative, being ambitious, being competitive, being independent, then being emotional, leader, being artistic, being mechanical, and then gentle. And then I'll ask you to put up in your chat box what you think each character is, like male or female. Like you can say, you can write active as M or considerate as F, which generally society and many of us think. Like you can say that when it is aggressive, it is mostly we think males. When we say it is sensitive or emotional, it is mostly females, is what society and all of us think. Whereas gentleness again is a trait of females, whereas being a leader is generally considered a trait of males. And you also put it up in chat box if it is correct or true, or justified that traits characterize males and females, or that males and females have very clear cut traits, or anybody can be anything. What is your opinion? You can just put down, or we can discuss later. Next slide. Then conditioning of this gender stereotypes. What I have told by means of names and traits is a kind of stereotype. That is how we stereotype genders. So what happens? Is there anything wrong with stereotypes? What is so important about it? Stereotypes are important because they are ingrained in our culture, and we all, like, expect a particular person, depending on their gender, that they have to behave in a certain way. For example, all our films show violence as a male behavior, and we think it is okay. Hero, if he's a hero, he has to fight with villains, he has to save heroine. Heroine is emotional, she's weak, and she has to be protected. These are the stereotypes which we keep on seeing in movies, in our stories, and everywhere. And parents also, what they do, if it is a male, the physical punishment is more, and also a male boy or a boy is supposed to be, he can be aggressive, or he can bring troubles, he can have some fights, whereas girls, it is not accepted. Generally parents do not tolerate violent behavior in girls, whereas they are likely to tolerate violent behavior in boys. It's okay, he's a boy. And whereas even when a girl shows opinions or gives her shows leadership characteristics, generally we label them as she acts very bossy, she's very aggressive, instead of being telling that they are responsible and they are good leaders. See, that is what stereotypes do. Stereotypical rules restrict personal choice and create unequal outcomes. That is the problem with the stereotypes. Next slide. So then comes the gender bias. So we have seen gender norms, gender traits, and then gender stereotyping. We are saying gender bias. What is gender bias? Because of your gender, there is a bias. So we know that in our Indian society, mostly a male boy at birth is preferred, and a family who is having boys or is considered lucky. and a woman who gives birth to girls or two or more girls is considered unlucky and they're troubled. In society, there is oppression, both officially and unofficially, and this discrimination submissive, and even when they are educated and whenever some situation comes that a person has to leave work, it is the woman who has to leave work to raise kids. And then we know male babies are for female even at sometimes when you becomes pregnant, leave, and then this age gap between men and women is a lot, and there are a lot of women whose careers take a backseat always to calling, discrimination. So this happens parallelly. On one side, in our society, women are called God. Then practical situation, even the tiniest of mistakes on women's behalf makes them unworthy of being respected. So what is the summary of this slide is, women do not want to be treated like goddesses. What do they want to be treated? Just as equals, just as another human beings. So definitely gender bias is a social evil. One can have it. Yeah. So as I was telling, have equal access to education. If there is only money for one child to be educated, they have seen a city, girls, and boys still there, unfortunately not in a meeting when there is a one man who is
Kiran madam, we can't hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm disconnected. It was not audible, la, mottamu?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, madam. Now we can hear you.
Is it audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No. Was it audible, the entire presentation? No,
No,
I
ma'am.
can't see the screen now.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Till now it was audible. Only this slide was
Yeah.
not audible.
Okay, no, I'm not able to see the slide. That was what I was asking, Shriman. Just wait, Shriman. I'm just going.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
The slides. Yeah, right. So it's not a level playing field. That was what I was telling. Even today, there is not enough representation for women. You can tell in the parliament, in assemblies, in politicians, in ministers, the inequality between the men and women, you can definitely see. Next slide. Shriman, next slide.
காப்பி பண்ணி அனுப்பலாம் சென்ட் பண்ணலாம் வாட்ஸ்அப்ல
Shriman, next. Yeah, it's moving slowly. Okay, then now what do we have to do? There is this disparity, there is this bias. Hello?
Hello?
Am I audible?
hello,
Yes,
cat
yes,
kada.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, I'm able to hear some voices, I think. Can you mute them? Yeah. So all genders have to work together to create a gender equal society so that this disparity and gender bias doesn't exist. So for this, we need friends, we need allies who are, the male and female have to work together as allies. That is what the intention of this presentation is. It is not an issue of one gender. Just because women are suffering more, it is not the issue of only women, or we are not saying that men are the culprits, so they have to correct. So it is an issue of all of us. So next slide. So it is this, from this slide onwards, it addresses boys mostly, though it is for both of you. So generally what we hear when we say such things, such presentations or such statistics, when we give, most of our friends, boys, brothers, anybody, so they always say it is not us. We don't never indulge in such a thing. So not all men, not all boys. We know that it is not all boys or all men. It is only a small percentage which is indulging in this. But what we are asking you is, it's not enough to not commit violence. We are asking you more. So you must be willing to take these 8 active steps to ensure that no other men commit such violence. That is the reason why we have taken you young girls and boys as our target audience, because there is no use telling grown-up adults. There won't be any change, because it is you people who are going to be the future citizens of this country, and it's you who is going to bring out the change. So next slide. So the first step that we are asking is share the care. It is a well-known fact throughout the world, not just India. Women take on 3 times more unpaid care and domestic work than men. The mothers, the sisters, they spend energy and emotional labor at home with family. All this time, all the time that they could have used for advancing career or looking after themselves. So you need to appreciate those who help you unconditionally. You need to respect the sacrifices being made for you, and please offer to help whenever you can, and encourage the women in your life, whether it is your sister or your partner, to take up and give them time to take up their own interests. This is the first step, that is share the care. The next slide. Hold yourself accountable. Just saying that not all boys and not all men is not going to help us or anybody, because you see the amount of abuse, the amount of cases, the amount of things in newspapers and videos, so much of disturbing content that you see. So it is important that one has to hold themselves accountable. So we need to be aware of our own behavior, make sure we are open to criticism. And whenever we think that our behavior or our words are not correct, we have to change ourselves. And we need to respect men and women equally. That word equally is very, very important. Next slide. And this traditional masculinity, both are, South Indian films, Bollywood, Tollywood, Tamil, Telugu movies, all have this heroes who is the alpha male. The alpha male, he is permitted, excused to do, insane amount of violence, and all in the name of being a man. So the hero is a man. He doesn't cry. He's always strong. That is wrong. As young boys, it's a request that you have to change this notion of this alpha male. And what has to be made fashionable is being sensible male. What does a sensible male do? The sensible male treats everyone the same way, regardless of the gender. And also, the sensible male can cry. Sensible male is vulnerable. Sensible male can be sensitive. And this traditional masculinity of, if suppose a boy is crying, saying that man up, don't cry, you be strong, why are you weak like a girl? This is not to be done, not to be encouraged. So anyone can cry and anyone can be strong depending on the situation. Next slide. So this is a continuation of the previous slide. As I have told, sensitive men will change the next generation, not the toxic masculine men. So men do cry, men break down, men also get anxiety, men also are human beings, they have emotions. Men can feel insecure. It is a fact that men also get abused. Men can have mental illnesses, and it is not unmanly to struggle. So it is, don't belittle or silence sensitive men who show their emotional side. So men also struggle. So this kind of alpha male or very masculine kind of male is a very unrealistic kind of version of a human being. Next slide. Then respecting other choices, like when someone makes you uncomfortable, you can definitely ask why it is so, and then examine your biases. Always think that the circumstances of other people may be different from yours. So don't judge or shame them for their choices, whether it is clothes, whether it is the time they are moving out, whether it is their language, whatever it is. You have to respect their choices. Just like you, they also can make some choices. So next slide. Then consent. Consent is very, very important. Consent can be defined as like fries, as in French fries. Consent is like it should be freely given. It can be reversible. It has to be informed, enthusiastic, and specific. Like, what is consent is saying yes or no. So generally we have phrases like hasi to fasi. This is in Hindi, the meaning of which is if a girl laughs, it is like yes. If the girl doesn't say no, it is a yes. If the girl had said yesterday, yes, it is is it an yesterday yes for everything? No. For every day? No. So clear consent is the word yes, nothing else. And the words like, she went out at night, she was asking for it. That is wrong. So, and boys will be boys. She should not have behaved like that. That is also wrong. Never victim blame, and understand consent very clearly. Unless a person says yes, it is a no. Next slide. Then sexism and harassment. Just with the, just for the fact that a person is a female, there are so many jokes going on in WhatsApp and, internet. A lot of things about driving, about their matching, about their makeup, and so many things go on in even in family groups. So whenever we see, it is a fact that all women, including us, experience sexism at least once a week. So if you are a responsible boy or a young man, you have to call out sexism and harassment, and that is a very good example of being a active bystander. Like if someone is being harassed in a WhatsApp group, and the girl who is being harassed can't raise her voice all the time. So if you are understanding this, if you really want to help, you can call out such behavior in a safe, respectful manner, not in an abusive manner, but in a safe, respectful manner. You can say, no, this is not right. This joke is not a joke, because it is belittling someone else. And do not excuse friends, relatives, or co-workers for it. So you see it, you name it, and you stop it. Next slide. And challenge gender stereotyping. I've told you about the stereotyping. So whenever something comes up like women are not good at driving, then immediately say that women can be good at driving, because driving is not gender based. It is a skill anybody can acquire. And there are so many, achievers, pilots, and so many else. You can counter this argument with facts. So just don't ignore such statements like women are not good at this, women are good at home, or women can't do this. So this stereotyping has to be challenged whenever you see it. Next slide. And then finally, very, very importantly, you have to believe the survivors. Whenever a woman or a girl speaks about her bad experience and she is not believed, another girl will not come out and say what has happened. And this toxic culture goes on. So the most important responsibility of each one of us is, whenever we hear a survivor story, these are the three things that we have to do. First is listen. Second is believe. And third is support. So then only many and many more girls and women can come out openly without being shamed that this is what has happened to us and we need help. So this is being an ally, and this is offering unconditional support. So these are the 8 steps that we ask the opposite gender, that is the boys and men, to please practice and help being an ally. Next slide. So that is how we change the dialogue and bring about a gender neutral society. And it is in our hands, it's in your hands to change this narrative. When you Google, it should not be like women should stay at home, should not work, should be seen and not heard. We have to change this dialogue. It should be like women can do anything, a man can do anything. It is definitely not gender dependent. Next slide. We can do anything and be anything. That should be our final motive and motto. So we move on to the next presentation quickly. I hope you understood, and anything else, please put it in the chat box. We can discuss at the end of the next presentation. Shriman, can you put the next final presentation? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
Thank you. So the final presentation is about decoding peer pressure. We thought this is an important topic because for your age group and considering the influences that you have these days, both online and offline, this was an important topic for us to include. So let's get on with this. Next slide. So the main issues in this is how to identify the environment is toxic, then good and bad touch. Most of you must be taught already about this. Then very importantly, the concept of consent again, and the power of saying no, because it's easy to say no, but it is important to say, easy to say yes, but it is important to say no. So that is what we'll deal with this in this presentation. Next. Next. So what is peer pressure? A peer pressure, it can be any influence that peers have on each other. I mean that, at this age, what the parents say, what the teachers say takes the backseat. And mostly you go by what your friends do and what your friends tell to you. So this is the time when your friends are the most important people in your life, and your behavior, your personal habits, and everything decides by what your group of friends is. So this peer pressure, though it is subtle many times to identify, but it has enormous effects. It can change the way a life of a person takes depending on this peer pressure. So next. So it could be a spoken kind of thing where, one of your friend openly persuades the other one to do certain thing. Unspoken is you just, your peer or friend doesn't tell you anything, but you are influenced by their behavior and you mimic or, you copy their behavior. And then, something is like direct, someone, you go out to a party or a friend's birthday and suddenly a friend offers you just hands over a cigarette to you. It's though it looks very silly and simple, saying no to such things also is difficult at your age, and given the atmosphere and standing up to the peer pressure, sometimes you may take it and then the habit starts. And then some bad habits or bad kind of negative sort of behavior like gossiping, etc., that also changes your behavior because you are influenced by such things. Then it can be a negative peer pressure because though you know that it is wrong, you are still influenced and go in the negative pathway. Whereas it could also be a very positive thing when your peer is a very positive person and engages in a healthy and responsible behavior, and indirectly or directly you are also influenced and go in this positive way. Next slide. So how to identify this toxic environment? Like you are in your group of friends and still you are feeling uncomfortable. You don't know why you are feeling uncomfortable. You start blaming yourself or your parents or your home, but actually it is your friends who are making you feel bad about yourself. That means that is a toxic environment, and your friendship is not on your terms. It is on their terms always, and you are never sure where you stand with your friends. You're always under pressure to impress them, and your effort is always massive from your side. You respect their boundaries, you try to please them, but they don't respect your boundaries. You always feel that pressure to do things, to be in that special group, and there is always this competition to be popular, and then you are always terrified that if you miss a party or if you don't do a thing, they may leave you outside their group, and also they encourage your worst traits. So these are the signs of a toxic environment. And how to avoid uncomfortable situations is, you avoid going out with strangers, and always make sure that your parents or someone whom you're close to are aware of your whereabouts, and always take a phone with you. While respecting others' boundaries, you also draw boundaries around yourself. And most importantly, when something is not good, when they are trying to force you to do something like drink an alcohol, or drugs, or engage in some unsafe behavior, you have to be confident to say no to anything that you are not comfortable. And ultimately, you may have to even learn to dial this police emergency number if there is an imminent sense of danger. So this is how to avoid these situations. Then boys have to avoid boys who are against. What sort of friends you make, then these are all the signs. Boys who are rude to their mothers, boys who don't respect the physical boundaries, boys who start fights. Then girls to avoid are girls who think again it is toxic masculinity is good, or girls who are materialistic, who use bad words, who don't respect boundaries, and girls who think that crying is a bad this thing of being a boy or a man. This is all signs and symptoms of negative traits in your friends. Next slide. So how do you put the boundaries? So how do you put the boundaries? Like, these are some of the examples. Like, if you don't stop shouting at me, I'll end this phone call. I can only stay for half an hour and not more. I'm not comfortable with that. If you do it again, I'll have to leave. I respect your opinion, but this is my life and my decision. I need time to think about it. Just don't agree immediately. You can always say, I need time to think about it. I'll come back again. So this is how you frame your sentences and boundaries, so that you are out of the unsafe and toxic friendships. Next. Then good and bad touch. Again, I would repeat this. All the picture in this picture, there are many areas which are shaded red. All the areas which are shaded red are the bad touch. Anyone touching those areas, it is not safe or a good touch, whoever it is. Only the green part is the good touch. As you can see, it is both the hands. So handshake is good, or something like, but all the others are gray areas, and the red ones are the bad touch. So speak out whenever you feel uncomfortable. You have in your deepest friendship, or even whatever it is, if some touch is making you uncomfortable, definitely it is not good touch. Next. Then again, the concept of consent, I'll repeat again. So yes means only one thing, that is yes. Whereas no, all these can be no, like turning away, I don't want to, showing you away, leave me alone, passing out, I'm not ready, pushing you away, I don't feel like it, under the influence of drink, or get away from me, screaming, don't, crying, all this is not yes. Yes is only yes, yes. And consent, what is consent? Consent is a permission for doing anything, like going for a coffee, going for a movie, going for a date, anything. Always ask for consent. Do not assume consent. Just because they are your close friends, don't assume consent. And also respect consent, and also the boundaries. And don't force consent. So once once men and women, boys and girls understand this concept of consent and boundaries, no crime will ever happen, either to girls or boys or men and women. Next. Again, I would say saying yes is easy, but saying no is very important. And always when you're not sure, then don't say maybe. What you want to say is no, but then maybe is not the word to say. It is always no. And always listen to your gut instinct. Whatever your heart, your inner instinct tells, believe it. And you change the subject, suggest a better idea, make up an excuse, leave the scene, whatever you do, but you stand up to peer pressure. Don't budge and bend to this toxic kind of behavior. Next. So this is going to end this presentation. So the final word is, with all these modules, we are all dreaming of a better future for all our young generation. Can we go to the last slide, please? Shriman?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is Malala Yousafzai, who is a Nobel Prize winner. She was the girl who fought every situation, every person to get educated. And this is her statement. I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world. So thank you.
Thank you, madam. Very nice presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but few
I'm sure all the students would have benefited from this. Any questions you can send in the chat box, students?
Yeah, if there is time, we'll definitely have some interaction. Whatever you feel. There are some students who went on, I mean, it was difficult to stop the interaction also. Don't think that anything is a taboo or there's nothing that you cannot ask, whatever it is. These are all girls, Dr. Ambuja?
Yes, ma'am. All girls.
Okay.
Mary Tangam, எப்படி இருந்ததுங்க மீட்டிங் ப்ரோக்ராம்? எனிதிங் நீங்க சொல்லணுமா? Not much of a response from the students because I think it's from the mobile. But anyway, students, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு final information. After this, நீங்க வந்து register பண்ணிருக்க எல்லாருமே you have to go back and there'll be ஒரு post test வரும். அது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா தான் இருக்கும் questions. Please answer it and complete it so that you will get your certificates.
Yeah. I have one comment from Geeta Priya that it is useful to us, ma'am. Okay.
She has also asked regarding the safety apps. Actually, there are a lot of safety apps they had shown you. Actually in the program, all these PowerPoints will be sent to the college. Abhidhani madam, these PowerPoints will be sent to the teachers.
Yeah.
So you can get it from your college, and in that you can get the apps and the emergency numbers and everything.
Thank you.
So.
Shriman, anything else?
Madam, I posted the link in the chat box, ma'am.
Yeah, post test. Is it mandatory now?
Yes, ma'am. Ajay sir told.
Okay. So please take this link of the post test and complete it. Anything you want to talk, you are welcome. Otherwise, we can close the meeting. Right? These are junior college students, Dr. Archana?
Yes, madam. Actually, it's a home science college.
Okay. Okay. I hope language was not a problem.
Actually, I discussed with their staff. They said most of them can understand English.
I hope. Yeah.
Thank you once
Shriman,
again.
can we? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the efforts. And please keep doing. If it is online, some of us can definitely, whoever is free will join.
Yes, madam. Yes. Do we have this training to become master trainers, madam? Because we can.
That has ended actually. We have had almost many rounds of master training.
Okay.
Almost nearly 1,200 master trainers are there now.
Oh, okay.
1,300 are there. It has stopped actually.
But in Tamil Nadu, I think there are very few.
Very few. But some states have done more. AP has done more. We have done more. In North, some states have done a lot of trainings.
Okay.
Maharashtra. I think Tamil Nadu, who has done only Deepa and Dr. Ramani.
Ramani Devi, yes, madam. Yes, madam. Only both of them.
I see. Then.
And Ramani Devi, madam, is very busy. It's quite difficult.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, if it is English, no problem. We can join anywhere.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Bye.
So once again, I sincerely thank Holy Cross Home Science College, the principal and staffs for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Mary Tangam. Close Paniklama. Can we close? Okay, Shriman, I think we can end the program.
Okay, madam. Please inform them, madam. I just posted the link in chat box also.
Thank you, Shriman. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Ask them to click on the link, madam. They'll redirect to post session feedback.
Okay, so the link chat box la irukku ellarme adu you can just go to it and give the feedback and you'll get your certificates. Adu kandipa pannidunga. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shriman, for all the arrangements. Thank you so much.
Within a weekdays, they'll get a certificates, madam.
Okay, so certificate 1 week lo ungalku online le vandrum.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.